Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm still waiting on people to join, but if they don't join, I'm just going to go ahead and start, and you can watch the recording. So this is being recorded. I'm going to start off here with EAX and just kind of look at the general markets. Looks like a lot of stuff's bunched up here on the RSI. So I'm just kind of going to skip this RSI heat map for now. And what I like to do is one of the first things I check when I use EAX is the price change in the last 24 hours and how close things are to key levels. So it looks like Jelly's moved a lot. I haven't really watched it as of right now. I was kind of preparing for the stream. I had to do some stuff before getting started. I seen it starting to move last night before I went to bed. Where am I at here? Here we go. I seen this happening, and I just went to sleep because, it was getting late for me. But wow, did it move overnight? Isn't that something? Hello, Trading Tech. Welcome. So for those of you guys that are just watching or just joining, I went ahead and started so that I could record this and just have it ready for for the people that watch the replay. I'm going to start off here by looking at EAX, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to take a look at Jelly, so I'm going to make a note of that, and then look at that on TradingView. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of going through here on EAX and seeing what's moving. I noticed this one moving to OG, or however you say it. I don't even know what this project is, but it had a move last night as well, and looks like it's coming down for the pullback. So I'm going to make a note of this one. So I'll take a look at that in depth a little more. And I haven't done much. Yeah, OG, thank you. I haven't done much with ARC yet. I haven't really looked at it much, but I want to. So I'm going to do that during the stream. And okay, OG is an AI blockchain. Okay, thanks for that info. So I've looked at ARC before, but it's been a while, and I'd like to see what's going on with it. Looks like it had quite a little quick dump down right there, a little manipulation or something. So yes, Trading Tech, it will be on YouTube afterwards. I'm recording this, so that's why I went ahead and got started right on the dot, even though there aren't a lot of people on this morning. So yeah, this will be recorded, so don't feel pressed to, be in here during the entire live, because it'll be like a 2-hour session. So yeah, this one looks interesting to me. So those are like some of the top pumpers. So I got Jelly, OG, and ARC that I'm going to look at, and some of the dumpers. I'd like to look at this Piggy for some reason, and Lab. I really want to look at Lab, so I'm going to look at Lab and maybe Piggy. What a crazy name for a crypto. Doesn't surprise me though. Okay, so with those, I've got Jelly, OG, ARC, Lab, and Piggy. And let's look at Aster too, because of CZ's support of it. Yeah, I did. I started with the top pumpers and dumpers. I just sorted by the 24-hour price change, and I looked to see what went up and then what went down. But I just kind of looked through. I didn't get the top ones. I don't have Kite. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at Kite, but it's a new one. It doesn't have any proximity to any levels. I might look at that. Maybe I'll write it down and maybe get to that one. But already I've got 6 things that I want to look at. I really want to look at Lab. This one's just been popping up a lot lately. It's been moving. And I think it's going to be around for a while. probably, I don't know much about the project, but I keep seeing it pop up on EAX and, on volatility meters and stuff. So I'd like to look at that. But I think Piggy's just kind of went down a lot, is what it did. What I'm finding is even though there's not a lot of liquidity in the markets and stuff, I'm going to cut EAX off of screen now and then switch over to TradingView real quick. A moment. So even though like there isn't a lot of liquidity and a lot of things aren't moving as much right now, I would say that there's always new projects in crypto now that, the SEC isn't really trying to kill it all the time, and crypto's not going away, and you've got all these big institutional investors now, so it's not going away. But it seems now with the liquidity low and people not knowing if what's going to happen up here, I think that what's probably going to happen is you're just going to get the most action from, I would say, probably from new tokens that come out. Like, because you notice that like when a new token comes out, it tends to be like it moves really well for a while, and it's easier to trade new stuff. It just does better. So let me see if I can start on this, see how this works like this. And I'm going to mess around with this parallel channel a little bit just to take a look, because I'm curious as to what's going on the overall trend. Boy, this parallel channel, my last settings on it are just a mess. So I'm going to kind of like change it a little bit. Yeah, let's just do 20 or something. So you'll see why I'm going to look at this here in a moment, and it'll make a little sense. And let's get this MA off of here. So, this is what we had, this bull run. This is a parallel channel. I'm just kind of looking at it to get a good idea of, where we're at. And I would say on this, from pulling from like the high on the monthly, not the wick, it gives you a good idea of like the range of this parallel channel. And these anywhere from this top white line to the green line is kind of like a deviation out of the range. And then the same with the bottom one, like this would be kind of like a deviation, or could be the bottom of the range. But as Bitcoin has been moving up, it's been kind of ranging in a way. And I'm not really into Wyckoff patterns or Elliott waves and things, but there's usually like 3 drives, and it looks like you've had your high here, and high here. So there could be another one, but anyway, there's a chance that it could reverse here. I'm not saying that it is, because it's a different game now, but what I'm saying is there's a chance that it's going to come down and test the bottom of this range on this parallel channel. And I could probably fix this parallel channel a little more and get it more accurate, but I just wanted a general idea. So if it did come down to this red line to the bottom of this range here, right now or soon, you're looking at 100K or lower. And then you've got some liquidity down here, so like 98. But where it gets interesting is if it keeps coming down, you've got a CME gap at 92K. So there is, some confluence down here. Not just all this liquidity, but then you've got a weekly, daily, and fair value gap confluence zone like right around here between 88 and 90-ish K. So that's what I would think that it might go for. I'm not saying it's going to go there, but if it does go down, and I'll show you why I think it could. Yeah, let me take a note of it. And if I don't get to Sol, which I normally don't even look at Sol, but remind me. I just wrote it down, so I'll try to get to that. So yeah, like I was showing this on my channel on here, and the Bollinger Bands and the RSI on the weekly has been up for a while, and it's coming close to the 50 line right here. This here, we also had a bear div. Whoops. Like the RSI went really low while the price went up a little bit before this dip, and it had the bounce on this key level, and then now it's going below it. So there is a good chance that this RSI can start dipping, or maybe even have a little dump this time. I mean, and you look at it this way too. When you see the RSI, it's kind of like it has its own patterns in a way too. As the price was kind of going up, the RSI was giving lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. So like if you looked at it here, this was like the low on the RSI, and it just barely nipped it right here. It's possible that the RSI is coming down to go a little bit lower again, just as it went, lower each dip here. So that would entail there's a possibility the RSI can come down to like 44 or even lower, and that that could cause a chain reaction. We don't know. With all this confluence here that I mentioned earlier, and with the fact that there's a parallel channel there, and it could be going down to test the bottom of that channel, I would say that we will get a dip like soon. A lot of people, I hear people online, and they're saying 250K or whatever. They were saying a lot of stuff last cycle, and it didn't happen. And I'm not saying that it's not going to go there, but there's definitely some telling signs here of what Bitcoin's going to do. And you're getting Bitcoin starting to spend time lower on, like, even on the daily. The RSI like kind of tried to get into bullish sentiment before. I thought it was going to, but then it just rejected, and it's in the bearish sentiment again on the daily. And what I like to watch for is like the kind of trend of the Bollinger Bands. Like if they're low or going down, it's usually trending down. And so it's kind of trending down again. The Bollinger Bands were way up here, and they're just getting lower and lower. And it's the same with the weekly on a very high time frame. It was way up here, and it's just kind of gradually going down a little lower. And that works for all time frames, by the way. But a shift, it looks like it's very possible anytime now with the way the RSI is looking. Yeah, with that being said, nobody knows, because it's a different game now with the institutions involved, and who's going to sell, what's going to happen, nobody knows. But there's a lot of confluence down here. I mean, 96K for that, the bottom of the parallel channel. 92K CME gap, and then all this other stuff around 90. So that's Bitcoin, and I'm not saying that it will happen for sure. But there was something else I wanted to mention. TrendX. You have some interesting stuff that's happened with TrendX. You had a narrow daily, a somewhat narrow weekly, and we're under it, and it's rejected, and it keeps rejecting these levels, and it could just easily go down again. We'll find out here soon, like usually around 10 a.m. Well, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes for us, which is 10 a.m. for me. Things start to kind of materialize as to what's going to happen for the day. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. I feel like it could very well continue to trend down. Oh, also because of this key level here is a monthly key level, this red line, and it went under it and rejected hard on it. It was a pretty big dip. It might have came up and hit like a fair value gap here, and then maybe going back down, maybe not, but it's definitely under that level and having trouble getting it back above it, and that's bearish because that's a monthly level. When you look at it on the monthly, that is a monthly opposing level, and it's pretty strong. See, that red line goes right to the bottom of these candles. And I didn't really look at this in detail before, but if this crosses down below this middle band on the monthly, if that happens this month, I mean, we have all month for this to confirm anything, but that would be major because it's been above this middle band since November of 2023, and it's definitely even on the monthly put it in lower RSI numbers as the prices went up. So I think it's bearish. A lot of people are bullish right now. I don't feel that way. This market structure is changing to bearish, and it's just kind of getting onto higher and higher time frames now. So that's Bitcoin. All right, so on my list here, I have Jelly, OG, Arc, Lab, Piggy, Aster, and Soul. And maybe I'll try to look at Kite if I can. I got these off of EAX before some of you guys joined. Welcome, Mo and D-Rock. If you guys want me to look at a coin, then let me know, and I'll try to get to it. But what I'd like to do is by the second hour, try to open it up. So if any of you would like to join in and get on stage and chat and share your charts, you're welcome to. But that's about 42 minutes from now that I'll do that. So let's see if I can get to the stuff before that. So I started looking at Jelly last night before I went to bed. Looks like it just killed that, because this TA was something I looked at last night, and wow, I was like, maybe it's just going up to hit the fair value gap. No, this is actually a pretty interesting project that allows people to live stream their life and events in their life and stuff. So this is an actual legit project. But you know how crypto projects are. They seem like they're going to do something and then they end up being flops. But we'll see. It's respecting key levels here. I've marked these out. It had this would have been a weekly level, and where it was right here. Oh, this just looks so good. That would have been really a killer trade, where this weekly level was marked by the bottom of these candles, where the red one came down. That was an opposing candle, and so I marked this level, and price came back down to it, and boy did it bounce. I'm just curious to see what it did, because I haven't looked at this since last night. 300%. Oh wait, that's a week. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chart here. Let's go with 4 hour. Here we go. That's more like it. So when it did come back down to this level, it still did 300% in a day, pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. It is putting in a strong bear div right now. It looks pretty bullish, really, to me. I mean, it's at a monthly level, a strong level, and it does appear to be reacting with it and getting some rejection off of it. It's at it right now. This could be a possible short opportunity here, potentially. So it looks like it came up here. Oh yeah, that's such a steep uptrend. I'm gonna mark this like as I go. Very good. If that breaks, that could be a good short opportunity right there. Yeah, it does kind of look a little bullish still. I wouldn't short it without any confirmation. Obviously this thing, look at how high the RSI is, even on the 15-minute. It has been up above and it is way up here. So even if it dips, like, it's just going to create a bullish shark fin. But if it breaks under here and then comes up and like wicks on it again, that could be a really good entry potentially. Like if it does something like something kind of like this and just wicks, and then it could kind of go like that. But I wouldn't do anything until there's confirmation. So I would take my time, do a lot of TA on it, watch it. There's going to be a lot of manipulation up here. This is a monthly level that it's interacting with. You could definitely scalp it a lot. I mean, even like shorting this first reaction to it, that would have been like 15% in 30 minutes. Good to keep an eye on this one. On these lower time frames, it is looking like it's getting ready for a nice dip though, because see how the Bollinger Bands, boy, that looked so strong as it came up, and how it's starting to get more, getting lower on this RSI scale. Eventually, it's going to get below this middle band and it's not going to be able to get up, and it's just going to reject and then have a dip. Boy, did it respect these key levels to a T, though. I'm so glad I marked my levels like this now. I've done it before, but I didn't really understand opposing candles as much until like Mowgli was doing it, and then Seth was talking about it, and how important they are. I was basically doing that in the past, but I didn't do it as much as I looked at trend lines. And now that I do it like this, it's incredible how well price interacts to these. Yeah, so this here, it seems like it's running out of steam, but it might not. It might dip and then go up again, but that's a monthly level. That's a strong level. Let's see if I can get there's some liquidity up here. This is the all-time high. Wow, this looks like it's been the thing to trade for a while now. I've been neglecting it until now, till last night. I've been starting to look at it. All right, so that's jelly. I would wait. I wouldn't go long on it. I would wait. If it breaks down below a trend line. I mean, it's got all these bear divs, but it's still above. It could get above this monthly level and bounce, but it probably wouldn't go much higher than this liquidity and then have a dip. Who knows? So yeah, be really careful with that one. And I'm going to move on to another one. So that's jelly. I would not long it. I would wait for extra confirmations on a short. That's what I would say on that one. Let's look at something else here. Okay, OG. I think I got this one on my list. Yeah, let's see here. Yep. Okay, I did look at this one. I remember. All right. This is interesting because it doesn't have. If this is the one, I think. Yeah, it's way low on everything. Like, it's got so much resistance above it, and it's basically near the bottom. It's somewhat new, but I've set these levels. Your daily, weeklies, dailies, 4 hour, And this way, when the price comes up and it starts interacting with these, then I'll decide if I want to trade it, if I so happen to be online during that time. This is interesting because the daily looks like it's about to cross the fast, cross the slow MA. So that could be pretty good. But with Bitcoin being possibly bearish, I would definitely, most likely bearish, I would be very careful with longs. I would almost wait for things to pump and then short them at a key level. I mean, look at how it just respects the levels. Yeah, I wouldn't long this, not for a second. It may keep going up, but you've got this sharp shark fin on the 4 hour. If you did long, I would only scalp it and get out. But this RSI has been down under the 54 while this thing has been trending down for a long time. It's probably going to need to consolidate. It might have some pumps. You know, it might just go up, but I think it's going to consolidate, probably. Doesn't have an audit data to go by, but so I'm guessing everyone can hear me all right, and everything's like looking all right for the stream. Everything's Mexi has more data. Okay, thank you. That's a good idea. I haven't really tried to use the other ones to get the data. I recently upgraded my trading view, and now I can do the watch list alerts, which is really why I did it. The seconds time frames is cool. I generally don't use that very much. I don't consider myself a sniper, but I might use it a little more in the future now that I'm trading these key levels more than I used to. So I'm sure this has probably got, you know, a change in market structure on the lower time frames, like the 15, which is an all right time frame for it, but I would be careful with this. There's so much resistance above. I would be looking for shorts on a lot of these. Had this nice bull dip before it. Wow, it just had that bull dip right onto that level. Actually, that was when I marked it though. It looks like it's trying to get above the weekly pivot, but it's a wide weekly, so it could range. Let's see here on the 4. I should have looked at this earlier. There's a little bit more of a fair value gap there. Just mark it now. That way I have it for later. Here in 30 minutes, we should have the daily narrows, which will be great. Yeah, I wanted to say too, for whoever's listening in the live now and whoever's listening, that the first live stream was really, you know, like felt like a test because I had the technical difficulties with the mic. Now I've got my mic charged up before. I've got a backup mic. I'm on solar power, so I have like a backup power setup. And I'm just making sure I got everything ready. I've got like 2 internet service providers. Yeah, and I've been learning more about what I can actually do with Discord with the EA stage. So I'm going to try to migrate to Zoom or something. I really want to get to where I'm doing the live streams on YouTube because it'll attract like other traders possibly. And I think it would be nice, you know, to see how, you know, how many people join, if any, with the live stream. I've never went live on YouTube before. So I let me check this really quick too. I'm gonna get rid of some of these lines here. Oh, you do? Yeah. So that would, thank you for telling me, Trading Tech. Yeah, so you have friends that might want to join the live. That way, if I do go live on YouTube, it could be good, because then they would be able to join. Do another time frame for that. Oh, thank you, Trading Tech. I appreciate it. Yeah, my channel's kind of small. I'm still kind of new, and having a little bit of people come and talk about it could help to maybe grow my channel a little bit. And Easy Algo is really great for learning how to trade. I mean, I've tried other groups and I learned some things, but nothing like that I can compare to when I joined Easy Algo. So if people want to be in crypto and learn to trade, this is definitely the place to be, in my opinion. At least I like it. It's a great community. People are pretty sincere about helping others. And there's definitely a lot you can learn here. So there is a trend here. I'm going to save this. I have been, I've been really going all out with my object tree now. I really wasn't like doing that as much as, if you notice, especially on things like Bitcoin. Like I'll have different folders for different levels and lines and things, and this is so important, especially things that you come back to. And I really can't stress that enough, because some of these levels might not get hit for a long time, but if you have it done and then it happens, like when you so happen to have time to look at the charts and it's happening, you're more likely to get a good entry on a trade. So I really wasn't saving stuff in the past like I do now, and now I take it much more serious. Like my object tree, setting my key levels, also there's something else I wanted to say too. Something I like to do, because I mess around with new trading strategies, is I will save a lot of new templates for setups. Like one of them might be for trading, like, I don't know if you can see this. It should be letting you see it, but I'll create new layouts and things. So like one of them might just be for SMCX, or one of them's like TrendX, or like one of them's full screen, or one of them's like a low time frame with the high time frame, so I can see my bias really quick. Like normally I have that on a 4-hour, but yeah. So I have these different ways that I do it with these tabs. That's just me. Back to the charting. OG does look like it's got potential to break out. Maybe it'll hit this fair value gap, maybe not. But if it does, there's a chance. I do see this often too, where things will go ahead and they'll break out, and then they'll kind of play around on the trend line for a while, and then slowly get above it, and then they'll just tap it one last time, and then they'll shoot. I don't know why it's like that. Yes, OG was on EAX. That was the first thing I did when I joined here. Trading Tech, I think you were the only one in here, or maybe it was a little bit before you came in here. So yes, these are from EAX, except for Sol, which I'm going to get to. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to make this a list, because now Mowgli likes to see the stuff that I look at, so I'm going to make a session hot list. This way I can share it with him. And I'm going to add these to it. So let's see here. All the ones that I've looked at, Jelly was on there. And these are just the things that I'm looking at during the live. So if you'll bear with me, I'm just going to type these out really quick. I really want to look at this lab for some reason. I just feel like I need to do it. Like sometimes I just get this hunch, you know, that some project's going to be good to trade. It doesn't mean that it is, but, you know, kind of makes it fun for me. Okay, I got Aster. Let's get Sol for you. You want to see Sol. And I almost never look at Sol. Maybe get to Kite. I don't know. All right. So I have looked at Jelly. I've looked at OG. Yeah, with this OG, it's breaking out. It's breaking out, but will it hold if Bitcoin dips? Will it come down and stay on the top side of this trend line or drop back below? It's right at the trend line, so it's a little risky. I would make sure you check TDIX or SMCX, you know, to decide if you're going to trade this. But I don't think I'm going to trade it until I see more confirmations. And I would look at TDIX money flow, and as of right now, I would not go long on this. And because it's broken out, or it appears to be breaking out, I wouldn't short it either. I'd wait for more confirmation with this here. And if anything, maybe scalp it. Maybe. It does have a very slight bull div on the 5. And it does kind of look like the RSI is climbing a little bit, and that it might start getting above the 50 here. So that's that one. Let's just go straight to Sol, since you wanna see that one, and that was just a special request. And I know it's something that I don't really look at often, so it'll give me a chance to talk about some things that I think is really good for people to hear. So I'll go into setting key levels with opposing levels again, and I'll just do that right now. So I went ahead last night and I revamped all of my my templates for setting key levels. So I use this horizontal line, and then I've got my template set up. So if this is a key level on the monthly, I will say key level M, and it's red because price is under it. And I would say that would be a monthly key level, high key level, and this would be another one right here, because you had the candles going up and then they started going down with these red ones, and that these red ones are the opposing ones, and so it would have to get above. I wouldn't long it, and it looks like it just rejected off of that, and then it's on its way down on the monthly. So it makes it so much easier with all these templates. You see, oh, I just can't stress that enough, because you've got to set your levels so you can trade at your key levels. But you know, you want to mark them so you know what they are really quick when you look at them. And having these templates is just so useful. Do you guys use templates like this for like setting up for doing your TA and setting your levels? I'm just going to do these ones because they're in the area. It's kind of one here. I'm going to just go down to the weekly to do that. So we are in this range here between this 124 and 208, and it'll just kind of that's the monthly, just kind of get more detailed as we go down to like different time frames. And I'm just going to keep doing this like until I've got a whole bunch of lines here. And so this will be a key level for a weekly, and it's green. If I get like a monthly key level and then a weekly right beside it, I generally don't put them both unless there's a little distance, because the monthly level is going to be doing the trick anyway. It's stronger. I'll go ahead and put one here. Oops. All right. So as you keep doing this on lower and lower time frames, you'll start to see more info on like where you're at, what price is interacting with, and you have an idea. So if you go to trade it, what's going to happen. Like right now, it's approaching a key level. It's going down into a key level on the weekly, but it did just cross below the sentiment on the middle band, which is crossing into bearish sentiment on the weekly. Before I move down to daily time frame, this money flow has kind of come down pretty fast, and these Bollinger Bands are getting lower and lower. With this RSI going below the 50 and below this middle band, this thing could be heading down to one of these other key levels. It'll probably have a reaction here. Yeah, 124 is a monthly. So yeah, so you asked how I found 124. I looked at the monthly chart, and then I seen the bottom of this candle body, not the wick, and I put a line there, and so that's a monthly. You're welcome. And that will be a strong level. You do see these wicks on it here is in the past, so there's something going on around here, definitely. So yeah, it looks like it's coming down. You had the bear shark fin coming under the 50 on the weekly. This thing could come lower. I don't know if this 161 is going to hold. I don't think it is. That's a guess, though. I don't trade Solana, but I would say it's going to come down to a stronger area with more support, maybe even this monthly around 124. It'll take time to get there. This is, higher time frames. But once again, just kind of when you look at TDIX on higher time frames, or kind of get an idea, is the RSI like hanging above the 50 or hanging below? And generally, if it's hanging below the 50, it's on a downtrend until it crosses this middle line, this 50, not the middle band. You also have, this is something here on the daily, you had a rejection like the same that Bitcoin did. It's rejected twice on the daily. It tried to get into bullish sentiment here, but it couldn't, and it rejected. It tried to do it again here, and it rejected right at the 50, staying bearish. So I wouldn't expect Solana to pump anytime soon. It is starting to put lower lows and lower highs in. So I would also set a few daily levels for Solana. So there would be one here. And these are pretty close to this monthly, but I'll put the daily up here just so I have it. So this is the area we're in, but when you look at the TDIX, it does kind of look bearish. It's going down, and it looks like it wants to stay under the 50 now. It could, these Bollinger Bands could be heading all the way down here. We don't know, but that looks like what it does. They go up and down gradually, and it looks like it was up for a while with these super bearish super shark fins. It may be wanting to go down for a while. 4 hour. I usually do my fair value gaps on the 4 hour. It kind of looks like a giant range almost through here. I'll clean this up later, but normally, like well, you know what? Let me do this. I'll just do this. Let's see, which one is that one? Okay, right there. I was like really prepared for this, and then all of a sudden I just got disorganized when it started. What's this one? I think it's around here somewhere. I think it was, yeah, I think that was it. Let's see. Yeah, 124. I'll keep these ones on because it rejected on the key level up here. So this way I don't have as many lines on screen. And now I want to kind of look for a confirmation that shows this is, well, it's obviously bearish now, but if I would have looked at it here and just drew a trend line, you would have seen, really, here we go. I see it now. It's pretty clear now. Right there. Oops. And you see that, you often get this when you see trend lines like this. You'll start, like when you have a trend, and when you see, like you look, well, this was kind of around the 50 here, but normally you'd see it like this. Kind of did it up here at the top. But you'll have, you know, in your uptrend, if you look at the bottoms, the lows, then you can kind of draw your trend line. Yes, I start on the monthly, then weekly, then daily, and I do the 4 hour. I generally don't go lower than that. Maybe the hour, I'll use maybe opposing levels on the hourly time frame. If it's a new token and there isn't much data, then I will. But when I do these trend lines here, if I was trading Solana, I probably would have noticed this sooner. But you know, when you see an uptrend, make sure you draw a trend line. Well, I like to draw trend lines. And then once you get like a bunch of taps to the same spot, eventually you have it come back down to the trend line again and not be able to stay above, come up, and usually get a retest. So right around here, I'm just going to mark it. Let's just mark it here, and then go to a lower time frame and just take a look at it, so you can kind of see. Oh, and there might have been a key level there too. Let me just look really quick. Yeah, there was a key level there. Oh, that's the one I wanted. Okay, I'm just kind of, I don't want all my, there it is. I don't want all my lines on at the same time. So I'm just kind of putting on ones that are in the area. Maybe even the 15, let's see. A little lag here. So yeah, when you get your trend lines and price starts getting close to it, you want to take a zoom in on it. With something like Solana, that, you know, it's a well-established asset, it's big, I would definitely be looking at higher time frames, like 4 hour and above, but making sure you check the 15-minute and then go lower for your entries. But you kind of see this thing I was trying to explain here, like even on the 15-minute, you see it. The RSI starts to get above 50 and it stays up there. And then the Bollinger Bands stay up there. But then gradually, as this RSI is in this range and the price is going up, trending up because it's above the 50, the money flow starts getting lower and lower as the price just gets a little bit higher. And right here, you got this major bear div that would have been here. So that would have been just like, it's a little sloppy on here, but the price was higher. And that happened right as it tapped that trend line. And then you got the reaction. So that's the kind of thing you want to watch out for. And it still took time, but now it's going down. Now this level here is a key level monthly. So I'm going to look at it again right where this line is. And just, I want to see, what the heck's going on there? Yeah, see, this would have been there. This would have been there beforehand, because this was where I drew it. I drew the monthly level by clicking the top of this candle body, the red one, and then, doing a parallel line, horizontal line, I'm sorry, parallel. And that gave me this line, and then that was right up here while it was trending up on the lower time frame, and it hit this line right here. Let's see, I'm going to even check the 30. The third, when in doubt, the 30-minute time frame can do some wonders. It's not really that high of a time frame, but it's not that low, and you'll often see stuff on the 30 that a lot of people just don't notice. Even something really gradual like here, let's see, kind of like even just a really like faint, but it's there. So you always want to do the candle body when you do these divergences. But when you exaggerate it like that, you can see that there's definitely a bear div there. Well, from here, from this one, so you would have wanted to stretch it, because if there's no like hump on the money flow right here, that's not, you're not really doing it right. So yeah, that was kind of like we had it hit this trend line, reject here, rejected here, and it still didn't want to go. It still didn't want to go down, but like as the money flow just kept kind of gradually going lower, and the price barely going higher, then it finally hit that level and just barely tapped it right there, like even right here, with with another bear div on the RSI, like as the price went up, and the RSI just kept going lower again. And this is another thing I would do. Like if I was going to enter a trade like this, I would look for something like this. I also like to look at the 200 as well. And even on this one would have been a super good entry right there, and you wouldn't have had to sit in the trade very long. Because once you see the RSI, it's like it's starting to kind of go lower. Well, you feel like you're getting in late because you didn't get in right here, but it doesn't really matter when you get in if you have a good confirmation. That's the important thing. So you start seeing these rejections, like it tries to get into bullish sentiment and it can't, and it did it here, but then you had the confluence with the 200. I'm sure there's some TrendX stuff going on here, but I'd have to send it back. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing you want to look for. I mean, come to think about it, that was one killer move. Like, you see how the money flow is just getting lower and lower. It's just, whoops. The money flow just kind of gives away what's going on, as the RSI is starting to go lower and trend down and get into these lower levels, and it just can't get above the 50, or it can, like here it got above, but it didn't stay above for long, and it had this resistance here, and then this here, like this could have been, I mean, gosh, if you got in right here and held it, and you kept seeing rejections like this, like a bearish shark fin right at the 200 SMA. Okay, so not to be too distracted, what time is it? Oh my goodness, it's 9:55. Okay, so there's Solana. I think Solana's bearish. I'm kind of spending a little extra time on stuff today. Might just go right to Lab. For some reason, I want to look at Lab, but I'll go ahead and look at ARK, because this one, okay, it's pretty bare. This is going to be a similar situation as was that OG or whatever it was. So I would set my levels like at least one here, and it's going to be a long time before that goes anywhere near it. I would go down to lower level or lower time frames with this, and I'll just set some key levels. I won't do them all. It's been way down at the bottom. This is crazy. See, once you get down on the daily and stuff, you start getting more data on stuff like this. It does look like the Bollinger Bands, when it was down for a while, it looks like it's starting to pull up. Like the RSI is gradually getting higher, and it's having higher lows. Like this is the other thing I was saying earlier in the beginning of the stream. Once you see like the RSI trending up, like right here is a higher low on the RSI, and it's just kind of working its way up. It starts to pull the Bollinger Bands and the money flow. This actually looks like it could be legit soon, if not like real soon. This looks good. This is a strong divergence right here on the daily, which is really good. Let's do that. I'm gonna leave this for later. Oh yeah, this is really nice. Like, I'm glad I looked at this one. All right, so ARC, it's approaching like multiple key levels right now. You've got your daily opposing levels here, like that it's at like right now. I would say though, wait or go to a lower time frame. If it breaks this level, that could be bullish for this thing. Wow, this thing's looking pretty good. I mean, especially if it gets above this high right here and it's approaching it. Like if it gets above this and then comes down, this looks all right. Let's do like a 12-hour. It's a nice little possible trend line here. It's not very many touches. Can you hear anything in my background? We've got like a generator running. Like I'm on solar power, and it was raining, so it's cloudy, and all of a sudden the sun's coming out, and whenever we turn off the generator, it makes this weird noise. Wow, this thing, this has my attention. Mowgli, when you get this list, if you listen to this and you hear what I say, check this one out. This is looking really good here. Not just because of the higher time frame bull div. Well, we just had a power fluctuation. One of my monitors went out. Interesting. I don't know if you've seen that, but was there an interruption? Did you just see my screen flicker or anything? That was weird. So I just had like a distraction, like somebody tried to message me. This one here is, I mean, it's above the monthly. It's early in the month. It's got these higher levels up here that it could get to. With this bull div on here, I'd start looking at the 4-hour, and Just gonna do this. Let's get this. There. Oh, it's on TDX. That's why. I'd start looking down on lower time frames to see what happens. I mean, this thing has been so low for so long. I mean, the RSI is super low. I don't know if this is one of those AI projects too or not, but I bet you the 200's looking nice too. Yeah, it's got this kind of general slow curvature. It's kind of like it's consolidated a little bit. Then it had that last dip, and now it's the 200 is so far below it on the 4 hour. That's a really good sign because the 200 is going to curve up and start going up, and then it's going to provide some support as it moves. But the 200, it's generally in alignment with some of the pivots on TrendX. And yeah, look at that RSI way up, really strong looking. As far as bearish as I think the general markets are with Bitcoin, I feel I'm leaning bullish on this one, on ARK. So that's my take on it. It's got other levels here. If this one holds, like, that could be really good. We'll see what happens, in a day. See how this plays out. But I'm waiting to see how it holds this 23.37 area. I mean, it kind of looks like it could come down. But that curvature, that looks great. It could just shoot up, but the money flow is getting lower on the lower time frames. All right, so on to the next one. I am taking longer than I thought. It's 10. Hello, Abusey, welcome. So I've looked at OG, Jelly, Soul, Arc. Let's go to Lab. I might not get to Piggy. I want to try to look at Aster, though. I'm definitely not getting a Kite. That was just kind of one I was thinking of getting to. There's just not enough time. Well, maybe after I open the stage. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do that. If anyone would like to come on stage, even though I'm going to check Lab here just right now, if anyone wants to come on stage, let me know, and I will send you an invite, and you're welcome to, because what I want to get into this habit of during the second hour, inviting people to come on stage, and then you can join and talk. And okay, yeah, sorry, Trading Tech. Yeah, welcome, Trading Tech. I sent you an invite. Hopefully you got it. So let me know, Trading Tech, if you get, if it lets you join. And I sent you an invite. So if it doesn't work, let me know and I'll try again. Oh, okay, I will go to higher time frames for this lab, but look at the way the way that RSI just wanted to stay in bearish sentiment. Now it's finally getting above. I just had a feeling to look at this one, and it's right down here at this key level. Yeah, thank you, Abusey. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty well. I'm just going to adjust your sound a little bit. I should be able to hear you really well now. It was a little low, but I finally figured out how I can just adjust your individual volume. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for doing the session. Thanks. It's really good. I feel like I'm finally understanding the opposing levels better.
Great.
I guess my thing now is more for looking for the coins. I'm seeing your strategies you go on and you see the biggest dumpers and the biggest pumpers. But I guess the other thing is, and really honing in on the divergences that you talked about too. Like I feel like I just want to get better at spotting, the higher time frame and lower time frame divergences so I can more confidently enter these trades. So I saw on Bitcoin, you saw divergence. And then now you're looking at this coin, let's say, you're marking out, I'm seeing the fair value gaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So weren't you talking about before about possibly adjusting your TDIX settings to make it easier to see? And did you do that?
I did that.
Oh, cool.
I did that this week. Definitely. Yeah. So I'm starting to use the RSI divergences more. I'm just saying, like, you weren't really looking for the divergences through the EAX. So I guess my question is, like, you just manually look at it once you've identified the coin that you want to look at.
Yeah, I used to
Versus,
kind of focus more on money flow divergences, but they were just so hard to time. The RSI would play around the crossing for the fast MA or RSI and the middle band of the money flow. So like I'll point at it on here. So there's a lot of play sometimes before, like, let's look at this area right here as an example. There's a divergence right here. You see where the price came down and then the money flows higher here, like right here. That was the reversal, but sometimes it's not always like that. Like sometimes it won't cross it. So like it was hard to time these. I had the darndest time trying to figure out when to enter. When I'd see these divergences, I'm like, okay, the price is coming down. All of a sudden, the money flow is coming up. I want to know when to enter. And right here, I mean, yes, you could have entered on this shark fin, but it could have kept printing divergences. So I wait for this cross, but you usually have one more dip.
flow.
Sorry.
So it's a money flow cross with the RSI is
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
that's the cross into like bullish sentiment there. So basically, I'll just kind of zoom in on this a little bit. You just kind of have a general that happened. My toolbar messed up a little bit. Even at the bottom here was the money flow was much higher, but the confirmation would have been that cross right at the tip of that red arrow. So you can see how that the money flow just kind of makes it easier to see it. There would on other time frames there'd probably be RSI divergences, but the thing was I couldn't
What about
time
the
these.
Bollinger Band?
Yeah, as a matter
Would
of fact.
that,
Well,
or what about,
technically
what's the
that
other one
middle
called?
band is the middle of the Bollinger Band, so that'll help if you look at it that way.
Ah,
So that yellow line in the middle of mine, that's just the center part of the Bollinger Bands. But really, when the RSI is above, it crosses into bullish sentiment. And you always want to wait for like a candle, like a crossover and then like one candle closure. And sometimes you'll get some sideways action before it moves, but other times, look at this. Here's a really nice example. You got low the divergence here, again. Whoops. So your price came down, and then the money flow was kind of rising, and then look at that right there. So there's a good chance if you enter here, like you have that cross, that middle band being crossed by the fast MA, like let's say you entered like on this candle, because this would have been the confirmation. I could zoom in on other time frames, but right here, you want to wait for even here, like you want to wait for a candle close, and that when this candle here closes, it's confirmed above, or even this one. And then there's usually a little pullback, and then in this case, it just shot above the 50 and then bounced off of it. So that is what I'm looking for. Something like that. a strong money flow divergence when it's been in the red for a while and it hasn't went up to the green. It's usually stronger, but it works with bearish scenarios as well. And that's just the regular. There are hidden divergences as well, and they are great. So I'll try to, I could point some of that out. Or if you watch some of my YouTube videos, I do mention them a little bit. But yeah, so that's what you're looking for. Chances are, if the divergence is going to play out when that crossover occurs, that's around the time you enter right there. And in this case, it didn't play out like right away. I mean, you even had a trend line here, I'm sure, somewhere around here. But that would be essentially what I'm looking for. Looks like your mic muted. But yeah, that's
I
what
have to leave, but thank you very
much. Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Just remember to check for the divergences at the key levels, because if they're out in the middle of nowhere, they're not going to play out as well. Would anyone else like to come on stage too? If you want to, just let me know. I'm going to go ahead and move into the TA of this, because I haven't really started on this one that much. I did kind of look at some of these levels last night, and I marked some of them. And these were like the recent ones. Actually, I did get all this pretty good, I'd say. Because this thing had such a crazy pump and then came back down, and it's got this wick, oftentimes price will go back to a wick like that. I'm not saying it's going to, but it does happen. And I'm at the 15-minute. Let's do this on the how do I do that? I'm trying to move so fast today, I'm kind of disorganized. Actually, the first time I had a stream, I think it went a little better. I was hoping this one would go really well. I guess I'm talking about things that need talked about, but this here, this kind of looks, I mean, it's still a higher low, but this is a lower low here, so it doesn't build a lot of confidence in a move up right away. This may just be going down more. But it is, this kind of, yeah, I wouldn't trade this unless it's at a key level. And I wouldn't stay in a trade very long with it, because it's getting low to where it could make a major move up eventually. So shorting it, this would have been a good opportunity to short it at this key level, but I wouldn't, I definitely wouldn't go long yet. I mean, see how this white RSI line on the hourly is way low. I would wait for it to come up and cross it, do a cross, before I'd even go long on something like this. And since it's so oversold, I wouldn't short it. So yeah, that's a quickie on that one. I do want to come back to this. I have a feeling this thing's going to do something. I don't know why, just I'm keeping this one on my watch list. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the next token. And if anybody else would like to mention it, well, maybe I'll get to the other coins. Let me get to these ones. Let's go to Aster. Definitely Piggy next. So Abusey, you said I like using SMCX for entries as well as for the same reason. TDIX not for entries. Yeah, that works really well for people. That works really well for people. I tend to use TDIX for my entries, but I I would say, to each your own, but SMCX is excellent for entries, especially with the CISD breaks. They're really great entries, and that's like why how most of the traders in our group trade. There are some of us that use TDIX for our entries. Um, Welcome, Abusi. Thanks for
Am I
joining.
on?
Hey, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. No, I just wanted to clarify, uh, so like I guess like the comparison to what I'm talking about with using SMCXs and what the way I always feel about TDX is like it's kind of like what you said earlier a few minutes ago was like, wait till you hit a key level. So then when you use that in conjunction with seeing TDIX, now you're essentially doing the same thing as I'm doing with SMCX, where it's just like, okay, TDIX looks like it's coming into something here. And then if you wait for the SMCX in my case, you're going to get a better bounce, which is they're different
Yeah,
methods, but that's kind of basically the same kind of mantra or whatever that you're using.
yeah, definitely. SMCX, it's really based on market structure and the opposing trading the levels, which is excellent because with SMCX you're ensuring that you're trading at a key level. But if people look at TDIX, they will be like, I see something going on here, but they may neglect looking for the key level. So SMCX is great, and it is a little more tedious to um, do your key levels and then look at TDIX. But TDIX is great when you want to eventually get like a really good entry. I think on lower time frames as well, which you can do that with SMCX as well. But yeah, I think the thing that to remember and to consider is that when you're using TDIX, you want to make sure that you're doing it at a key level. But you don't really have that issue with SMCX because it's giving you the key level with the CISD, with the high time frame fair value gaps, your liquidity lines, your sweeps. It's giving you the levels, but I mostly like TDIX for the divergences, but also the RSI. Um, it's positioned on the scale, kind of gives me a good feel of you know where it's trending, and if it's been trending in that way for a while, is it ready to switch? Um, so I may not have to hold the trade quite as long if I have like a really sharp entry with TDIX. But you know, um,
Right. No, and I've
mhm,
watched your YouTube videos and you do an excellent job with it. I know myself and I've just heard so many people talk about it over the time I've been with Easy Algo is TDIX is like I find it like I always make mistakes on taking entries on it. So
mhm.
like for me with the sets SMCX and all the ICT training, that to me that really spoke to me. So
it
it really
yeah it
helped me
does.
with entries. And I know I know a lot of people have a hard time with TDIX because it's such like a I always think of it as like, it's like a masterpiece, but there's a lot of components to it that you gotta have to put into place to get it to work.
Yeah,
And so there can be a lot of trial and error where for me with SMCX, it's to me it's a simpler thing when at least in my head because you're basically just looking for the candle formations. So
yeah,
if you get your levels and then you get TDIX showing a movement, then I just rely on SMCX to kind of say, here's that movement is happening at right now,
yep,
type of thing.
yes, yeah. I hear that. It's definitely easier without TDIX. I guess because I learned on TDIX, I kind of feel like I'm flying blind without it. and I just have to learn not to trust
No,
or to
I
not to use it,
100%,
I
I
guess.
100% agree with you there.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like I use SMCX. I have taken trades with it and I like it. But I don't feel like I have as much experience in that style yet, though that's where I'd like to go. This is
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just really what speaks to you, but
this
I just
is
wanted to
looking
mention
really
it
interesting
because
right here.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you mentioned it. And I do plan to use SMCX more in future streams as well. This one's really interesting. I think Mowgli will be looking at these coins that I go over in the live, and I think this is one thing he doesn't always look at. So if I point it out, Mowgli, if you're listening, this is a really good one. Of course, it had that pump because CZ was shilling this token, and it's come back down, but it's wicked on an order block. That is a primo zone, and that's a nice looking wick. But I mean, who's to say if it's going to go all the way down to this key level and then print another bull div right at it? But there's a chance for some sort of reaction here. I mean, you got your TrendX level here, your weekly. What's it, the weekly one? Yeah, that's the weekly previous week low or whatever. All right. Hey Jake, welcome. I just wanted to say too, if you want to join, you're welcome to. Just let me know and I'll send you an invite. So this one here, it's similar to the other one I just looked at. It's too low. It's been down for a while, so I definitely wouldn't short it. And I would wait for a little more confirmation to long. I would go down. Ooh, this looks kind of good actually. Oh yeah. So there's another bull. When you see bull divs on multiple time frames, that's where it gets really interesting. Like this here. Wow, look at that. This thing may be preparing for a big move up. That is a sharp money flow divergence right at that. Wait, my line just doesn't want to hold when I click it. That's looking nice right there at that zone. That order block is what it is. So this is definitely worth watching, but of course you wouldn't want to enter until this white line crosses or gets ready. I'd say you could enter, but it's really risky. I'd look for some other confluence, but I wouldn't enter until I would see a cross. And I might miss a little bit of the move, but if it's going to play out, it's probably going to give you more than one big candle like that. It's going to basically create a reversal, and the divergences are kind of confirming that. You gave a thumbs up, Jake. Does that mean you would like to join? You're welcome to. And that's what I want to do during the second hour of the show to let people join. It's nice to hear what you guys say because I know that I can learn from you guys as well. And yeah, just throwing it out there. So
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So like on that divergence that you marked out, I've always stayed away from those and waited for like the bigger sweeps. Do you like what do you prefer, I guess? And do you consider that like you're talking about that? So obviously you consider that a good move. But can you speak on that? Like, yeah, I feel confident about this one. I like how
think of it
it's playing
more.
out.
Yeah, think of the divergence as confluence, but it's really strong confluence. It's not your trade entry signal, but it's confluence to say, there's a divergence, it's strong, and that's why I like the money flow ones, because I believe this money flow is basically an RSI moving average of some sort, and that is showing like a more solid divergence. a more present one that's been ongoing, something that it's got a lot of pressure, because as you've seen in some of the other videos, some of the money flow divergences play out in a very strong way. Let's look at, I'm going to kind of look at this 15-minute for a moment. Okay, I was expecting to see something different, but it didn't show it, didn't have it. Let's try the 5. No, it's present, but it looks different on different time frames. Obviously, something like that. Yeah, that's a nice divergence right into an order block. But obviously, this is crossing into bearish sentiment for right now. The safest entry would be way down here at this key level, but it might not go that far with this divergence. It's going to give it pressure. I think there's a good chance that, depending on what Bitcoin does, that because there's also a monthly, I think a previous month low or something down here. This is what you want to see hold, this TrendX level right here, this blue line. There's a weekly and a monthly low here, and that's at the bottom. Maybe it'll take some liquidity here. It might kind of go around and play and do accumulation, manipulation, and distribution or whatever, an AMD. So that's an important thing. Let me extend that. That's an important thing to watch for this one. But I would definitely not short this one. And if anything, if you find a divert like a bull div or bear div, I probably wouldn't trade against a divergence. It just you kind of want to go with the flow where the pressure is, as price tries to find a fair value for what people are willing to trade it at. Yeah, so I wouldn't use the divergence as my entry, but I would use it as another confluence, and it's strong confluence. So yeah, Aster, I think this thing's got more upside. I don't know when, but it may come back down and sweep this liquidity again. It might. So yeah, that is. Let's check the 4-hour for key levels too. Maybe I forgot to do that when we were talking. Yeah. Yep, definitely. I forgot to put that on there. That's very important. That's the level you want. There's your level. There's your key level, your key opposing level on the 4-hour. Right down there at this order block. So let's just get rid of this order block altogether, and it's cleaner looking. There's your area to look for it to go down and play around with this level, these levels. And we'll go down to 15 on it. Maybe get a little trend line going on here. These lower time frame trend lines, they're not as secure, I'd say, but they do work for scalps. I wouldn't put a super lot of weight into it. Actually, it looks a little better the other way. Looks like it even tried to get above it. This thing definitely could reverse. Could happen today. But I would wait for it to maybe hit this key level again, or confirm some sort of breakout with this trend line.
I got another question too. Do you with the 1 hour and 4 hour? Do you trust the 4 hour heavily, or the 1 hour heavily, or do you look for like higher time frames before getting in?
It depends. Like, it depends how much data there is for something. I would go with the 4 hour if I could, but I would say if
This
I
one
don't
just
have
hasn't been
anything
around
else, I
very
go with the
long.
one. I'm sorry, what was that?
This coin just hasn't been around very long, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, if it hasn't been around for a while, you only have lower time frames to go by.
No.
But this RSI on the 15 has been down a while, and it's kind of gradually putting in lower highs as the price is coming. I mean, it's putting in RSI dips too, and this money flows deep, so it could be a while before it gets higher. I don't think it's just going to break out of this trend line and then go up here somewhere. I think it's coming back down to this key level. That's my guess. Maybe even sweep this liquidity again and tap this. This is another TrendX level, these blue lines here. So I think with the position of this, the Bollinger Bands, and the way the RSI is hanging around down here, I think it's going to stay down for a little bit. And because if it went up right now, it's just going to print a bearish shark fin and gradually start to pull the money flow, the Bollinger Bands up. But then again, it could just hit this level and then bounce. But
so with that RSI, you're just saying that from experience, how it's bouncing up and coming back down, you haven't really seen a movement on the RSI where it makes you feel like, okay, here we might have something changing.
Yeah, it's the well, at least on this 15-minute, but in general, when you have the RSI like spending more time above or below the 50, it gives you an idea. Like, see this kind of just the squiggly pattern here. It's in a downtrend because it's below this 50 line. It's weak, and generally, like here's a good example. It's not correct every time. Nothing is in trading, but here you've got this general uptrend, and you have it like kind of a squiggly. It's not as sharp as the other one, but it's all above the 50. It's happening while in green money flow. You may think, oh, bearish shark fin dip. No. Well, in this case, it's still strong, and it kept going up. But as the money flow started to get lower and lower, then you got bigger dips. It even went up here. See how the
kind of forming its own divergence
is kind of like, yeah, divergences do kind of mix it up a little bit. Because that's, when the price goes a different direction than the oscillators. In this case, like you've got it going up and down, but it's above the 50, so it's still trending up. And you'll see these squiggly patterns throughout. And yeah, I learned that from something Crypto Crisp had said. He said when you see something like this, it wants to go lower. But then I noticed when I looked at it and tested it, oftentimes you'll see that above the 50, and it shows it might want to go higher. But this one here, it looks like it could break out. It could just go. But I think it's more likely to hit this level again. It might not, though. I mean, this is a nice wick. This is a nice wick. There's definitely order blocks in this area, which it went below this time. And now that everyone knows that CZ's interested in this project, obviously there's going to be people playing with it. There's going to be a lot of, bigger players getting involved. But yeah, this is this order block here. It had the nice wick on it, but then like the trend line kind of put a little pressure on it. I would say when it's above this order block, then you have a sure confirmation that even though you have this breakout, of this trend line, that probably doesn't matter as much because it may go sideways a little bit and then do one wick down to this liquidity. It might not, but it might just come down and tap this level again. But this here, this order block has got my attention. Because of this wick, I think there's more going on here, and it's not just finished business, so to say. I think that's the one to watch. I haven't really used this other indicator very much. I want to stick with the easy algo indicators, but there's this one called market structure, like order blocks, and like I think Crypto Crisp uses it, and when I started messing with it, it kind of just opened my eyes to order blocks that I never looked at before. And like in this case, like it's showing an order block here, which is normal. I would mark this one on my own, but there's one down here too. Actually, I'd have to look at something else to show you, but they're legit order blocks in weird places that, like in this case, this one, let me see if I can show you what I mean on another coin, possibly. But anyway, this is Aster. I do feel like there's more upside to this one, but how much is it gonna hit this key level, and will it? If it doesn't go down there, but instead it gets above this gray box, this order block, I would be bullish on this one, because you've got the trend line breakout, you've got the order block. If it gets above it, it's already hit the previous month low. That would have been an order block over here. I think I showed that on the 4-hour. And it's got that bull tip. Oh yeah, there it is. That's really nice looking. This thing might go. This might be it for it. And I know like people are saying, oh, it just dumped after CZ pumped it, but I don't think that was the end of this pump on this one. I think this thing's going to go, and this could be a good entry, depending on Bitcoin. So yeah, looking at that, there's another order block, and it look at that right at the middle line of it. That is so nice. The key level, the order block, the weekly, monthly low. This could be happening right now. I actually kind of want to enter this. If it gets above this on like a lower time frame, and I see something, because all these bull divs are crazy. There's buying pressure in this one. So yeah, that's what I think about Aster. I feel kind of bullish on this one. I'm going to move on to Piggy. Save that. I'm going to try to come back to that maybe like off stream. And so I started looking at this one last night, and this one must have been a 4-hour. I did this I did this last night and went to sleep, and then like it came down and filled that fair value gap. So that's finished business. It's taken some more liquidity. This just happened since I looked at it last night. Yeah, there's a key 4-hour level here, a new one now. And it seems to be pushing away from it. Now, like in this case, if I was doing my 4-hour opposing levels, this one here, this one right here, I'll make it purple just to show you. This one here I put on last night because of the bottom of this candle body. But then like overnight, it came down and hit it. And now the opposing level would be here. So I'm going to delete this purple line and just consider it, finished business. And this would be my new 4-hour opposing level, key level for this one. This monthly level, I want to check that really quick and just double check. Yeah, that has changed. That is no longer valid because of what happened last night. Daily. So what I do is once I set this line here, but now it's changed. When you have to kind of update it, like as the price changes. And so I don't leave my levels on forever. Like, they change. And I'm going to put it on the bottom of this one. It is kind of here too, but so these are new key levels as of today. More accurate levels than the ones I had last night. All right, so does anybody else have any questions or want to come on stage? Just let me know anytime. I'm starting to wrap up already some of this TA, and kind of like doing pretty good time actually now. Got about 18 minutes left, and then I'll probably close the stream. But if somebody wants to stay, you can, and I'll just pass it on to you or whatever as well. Piggy does look like it's moving up away from here. It's got above a couple key levels. This could be an interesting one. Oh, I haven't even checked TDI. Let me check that 4-hour really quick. Okay, not enough data. When in doubt, go to the 30-minute. Almost. So if this would have been just a little higher of a low and this was lower, it could have been a hidden bull div. It's kind of there, kind of like an exaggerated one, maybe on the 15 or something. No. Yeah, actually it is. Wait, no, because over here it's lower. If this would have been, it would have been that height there. All right, I'm not seeing any bull divs, anything of significance on this one. But it is, moving up from this key level. And the RSI on the 5-minute is starting to do that thing, like where it was down for a while, and now it's shifting and pulling it up. And you can kind of see that with the money flow line here, where now the RSI is starting to get above the 50 and spend more time above it. Eventually, you'll start to see this where it gets above this middle line and it keeps kind of bouncing on it. And you'll see that in a strong uptrend, like here. Like the RSI was, here it was kind of like a divergence, but it got above and then it hit here and just bounced on it. And as it got really close to the top here, it started having trouble holding. This one could be interesting to trade. It moves. It's got some volatility, that's for sure. All right, so okay, did I check TrendX on this? It's under the weekly, under the daily, under the monthly. You wouldn't usually go long on something like this unless it hit one of these previous week lows or previous day lows. And with these wide pivots, I wouldn't expect much of it today. Maybe you'll get a narrow pivot tomorrow, but the weekly pivot's not even narrow, so you'll just have to wait on this one. But it is seems to be reversing here. Okay, so that's Piggy. So nobody else has any more questions? I guess I will look at that kite. This could be an interesting one. Does anybody else have any questions or want to get on stage, or maybe you have a token that you'd like looked at? Poll. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, and for those of you guys that joined a little later, I did pull these out from EAX at the beginning of the stream, and then I looked at Sol because it was one of you guys mentioned it. I'm sorry. Let me scan up. Trading Tech wanted to look at it. So I'll go to Pull first since you requested it, and look at Kite next. But Kite was one I seen on EAX. Wow, look at that narrow weekly pivot. That looks great. Pretty good call, Mo. Here, I don't think I've even heard of this one before. I don't know how much data it has, how new it is or anything, but wow, look at that. Oh, I've got a line on there. I was like, maybe I've looked at it before. That explains it. I have looked at it before, but I don't remember it. It's kind of near a previous key monthly level, but it appears to have displaced under it. So I'm just going to mark these other ones. And monthly also look good. What did you mean by that, Mo? Sorry, could you be like a little bit more specific on that one? Yeah, I mean, you mean it's sweeping the monthly low? It is very low right now, and though my TDIX isn't giving me anything for the monthly, the RSI would definitely be pretty low down at those levels. The weekly, I'm looking at the weekly here now. Yeah, that's a nice looking area actually. There's a definitely it's at a key level right now on a weekly. And depending on if it goes up and just creates a wick for the monthly, like that could, if it would go up and then like this other candle, let's say I had a line there for this monthly, it didn't really fully displace under on that one, and if this one just goes up and wicks, it could be a superb entry. So I'll make that one purple. Because it's currently in the midst of it, and I put purple like when the price is kind of like deciding if it's going to get above or below. But if it gets back above this key level, yeah, this is a good call, Mo. But we'll see. I mean, it's at the weekly now, and it does appear to be getting back above. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Daily. Okay, I'm not seeing any bull div on the daily. So there was a bear div that kind of played out. I'm just going to mark a couple levels and move down to lower time frames. All right, that should be good for now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good call, Mo. All right, it is on the 4 hour. It's come into this key level, this weekly key level, and just dipped below it with the bull div. And the RSI is really low, like 27, and it's been low for a while. or around 27ish. This, this could be this could be the manipulation for it. I'm going to mark, let's go to a different, just to save space. I'm going to mark the liquidity first before I, well, didn't want to do it. Oh, what time frame was I just on? Oh, okay. I must have been on a lower one and I wasn't looking at the right one, but I'm going to mark some of these lines. At least this one. Liquidity. Just in case. All right. Oh, I was on the 4. I see what I did wrong last time. All right, so there is a little liquidity still down here that isn't touched yet. It's possible. I mean, well, what am I thinking? It already hit it. There's a huge wick here, so that's void. All right, so it's probably not going down there. This looks really good, Mo. Thanks for pointing this out. I probably wouldn't have looked at it. And there is a bull div there on the 4 hour. That looks really good. Where the price came down even after this wick. So the wick doesn't like invalidate it. And the money flows higher. Bullish super shark fin. This looks sweet. I would mark out these fair value gaps. So any other after this one? I'm still going to look at this a little more, but is there anyone else that wants to say anything, mention anything, or look at something? I got see. Oh, I'll stay a little bit later. I was going to end the stream like around 10 minutes or more, but I'll stay a little bit later. You want to see it get beyond these fair value gaps. That is a nice dip. It's taken the liquidity. If it gets above this weekly, this would be a good one. And there was another one I looked at that I really would want to go back to and possibly trade. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of get ready to wrap this up. Oh, there could be a trend line here. Whoops. Thanks, Jake. Still in a bearish trend regardless. Yeah. Okay, I'll consider that. Yeah, Aster. I'm definitely going to be watching that one now because it's definitely getting attention now. I don't feel like this trend line is the one I want to do. This just doesn't look right. I'd go with a lower time frame trend line on this one. Maybe even like a really low time frame. Yeah. If there even is one. You're not always going to have a clear-cut trend line to help you know when it's reversing. You're not always going to have it. I mean, there might be one on some time frame that I'm not looking at, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if you look around at this that would be a pretty steep trend line if there was one. You would definitely want to look and see, check the market structure too. You want to see it kind of at least get back above here, but I don't know. I mean, this is a key level. If it gets above this, this green line here at 1724, that could be, enough confluence to give it a shot, to at least try a scalp long on it. But you want to wait for it to get above and then come back. It might go up, hit the fair value gap, and then come back down to it and then go. But we'll see. So that's pretty much all the ones I wanted to look at. There's more that could be said and stuff, but I've used up the 2 hours. Oh, kite, but I don't know if I'm gonna get much into this one. The stream is just running. I'm running low on time. Yeah, so I am really interested in this one right here. So you said, Jake, is support hold at 905. It's still bearish in the trend regardless. TP 95, 298, 3, maybe 105. Yeah, it is still, it had a lower low. That buying into it got sold, but it's building up some pressure here. Forget what time frame I looked at, but it looks pretty like it's building up some buying power. Technically this pump here changed market structure, and it came all the way back down here. It could come lower, but I would say as this money flow gets higher, and then you start getting the 4 hour fast MA RSI crossing above the middle band, you could definitely do some scalp longs on it on the low time frames. So yeah, with that being said, I guess we're pretty much done with the stream. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. I had less technical difficulties this stream, but there were some other things I kind of wanted to touch on during this stream, but I didn't get to. But we did check some coins from EAX, and hopefully Mowgli will be able to take a look at them during his EAX coin hunt later on tonight. So I'll try to get this uploaded to YouTube soon. Thanks again for joining, guys. You're welcome. And thanks for taking part, Abusey and Trading Tech, and everybody that brought coins in to look at. And, thanks for your comments and everything. Remember, if you ever want to just chat with me, just send me a friend request in Discord, and I'll accept it, and then we can chat. I'll do my best. If you have any questions, and if you have tips or advice for me as well, then just go ahead and give it to me there. Or you can watch the replay on YouTube if you need to. If you missed something, then you can ask questions there, and I'll try to get back to you if need be. Have a great day, guys. Did anyone want to keep this open? Like, I could leave the stage open, but I'm going to disconnect, so maybe just restart it. All right, have a good day.